We start today in Puerto Rico, where there's a renovated building that was at one time the busiest urban center in Puerto Rico, and it's opening up this month as a boutique hotel with the hopes of attracting not only tourists but locals as well. Our One Caribbean News' Francis Felix reports.
With the hope of a new resurgence in the town of Rio Piedras, a new boutique hotel opened its doors in one of the most historic towns of Puerto Rico.
This is a dream come true for me because my parents, they met here in Rio Piedras when they were students. My grandmother used to have a place for students to live. She had a big family, so she had a big house. She moved from their own towns and they met here, and I think that's the kind of story that a lot of Puerto Ricans have, that they met in the university and they got two families from different backgrounds together. So I am in the academic area because I'm the president of a university in Puerto Rico. I bring a lot of students from the United States to live here. I've traveled a lot. I know what it is to go to a new place and know nobody and try to make a living over there.
Nas Boutique Hotel is located in front of the Plaza of Rio Piedras and the Catholic Church. It has 3 floors and 23 rooms with a team of bees. The hotel at the beginning is going to employ 6 persons, but with the mission of eventually have more economic impact and the development of new business around. For Gladys, it's important to bring back the college students.
And that's what I want for my students, for them to feel welcome, and for all students that visit Puerto Rico, because Puerto Rico is a great place to study in Spanish and still have the American system in place, the Department of Education of the United States. So it's a good place for people to come back to Puerto Rico, for people to visit from different other places. Every person that has an accident in Puerto Rico, they need to come to Rio Piedras for any trauma, and people have to visit them, and they don't necessarily are from around here, or they don't necessarily have families around here.
This boutique hotel is part of the many initiatives the municipality have to help in the improvement of the town, attract local tourists and college students from the University of Puerto Rico. From Rio Piedras, Francis Felix.
All right, thanks so much for that report, Francis. Well, meantime, the Pan American Health Organization, or PAHO, is the International Health Agency for the Americas. And recently, they've updated the public on the ongoing fight against COVID-19 in the entire Caribbean region. And our One Caribbean News' Deandra Hamilton reports.
This is not a normal disease, the sentiment coming from the Pan American Health Organization on COVID-19. PAHO provided an update on the region's COVID-19 response in a press conference held Wednesday.
In the first week of 2022, we have seen the highest number of weekly cases since the start of the pandemic. And cases rose by some 77% over the previous week, and deaths jumped by 31%. So there is no question that Omicron is having an impact. At least 17 countries and territories have reported increases greater than 50% in hospital admissions.
Dr. Carissa Etienne, who heads PAHO, said she is very concerned about Caribbean hospitals already ill-equipped going through the surges of Omicron. In light of the surge and low vaccine uptake in some places, Dr. J. Barbosa outlined plans to help with vaccine hesitancy, which include a comprehensive communications campaign.
Working with the Ministry of Health, we are highlighting the relevance to have a very comprehensive communication strategy to invite physicians, nurses, academic institutions, community leaders to be engaged in this vaccination effort.
As a final line of defense, PAHO revealed that they are currently trying to negotiate with pharmaceutical companies to provide quality products in the region.
The PAHO Strategic Fund continues and will continue to negotiate with the manufacturers to make available antivirals of proven efficacy available to these countries that need them.
That press conference was held virtually.
And that was our Deandra Hamilton reporting there. Well, meantime, the CDC has updated its mask mandate, recommending Americans wear the most protective mask or respirator they can find, just as the agency issues a warning on counterfeit N95 and KN95 face masks. So today, we're explaining to you how you can spot if they're fake or real.
The highly transmissible Omicron variant has health officials recommending you upgrade your mask to an N95 or KN95.
It prevents not only you from spreading the virus, but also prevents you from becoming infected from Omicron.
But the growing demand is leading to online scammers targeting unsuspecting consumers and selling counterfeit high-quality masks. But how do you make sure your mask is real or fake?
It's an incredibly difficult market for consumers to navigate. There are hundreds of millions of these masks on the market in America right now that have no oversight. It's very dangerous.
The U.S. certifies N95s, while China approves KN95 masks. The CDC has issued a warning saying about 60% of N95 or KN95 masks on the market are counterfeit. Here's how to spot the fake respirators. 1. The N95s should have a NIOSH approval label, confirming that it meets the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health requirements, and it should be spelled correctly. The KN95 should not have a NIOSH label.
As a consumer, it's impossible to tell by looking at a respirator whether it's a performing respirator or not. They look identical.
2. It shouldn't have any decorative fabric or add-ons and should not make elaborate claims. 3. If the face-piece respirator has ear loops instead of headbands, that's a red flag. So, how long can you wear the masks? Health experts say with proper care, they can be reused for several days.
And as Barbadians prepare to head to the polls on Wednesday, the Electoral and Boundaries Commission says just over 266,000 people are eligible to cast ballots in the general election that Prime Minister Mia Mottley has called 18 months ahead of the constitutional deadline. Now, EBC Chairman Leslie Haynes said at a news conference on Monday that his organization is ready for general elections on January 19th. He said registration for elections have been printed and distributed to all political parties and independent candidates, and the election officers are collecting the last of their equipment supplies. Now, a total of 108 candidates representing 7 political parties and 9 independents are contesting the poll that political observers say will be a straight fight between ruling Barbados Labour Party and the Democratic Labour Party. Now, Barbados is the latest Caribbean country to be staging a general election during the pandemic, following countries like St. Kitts and Nevis, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, the Bahamas, St. Lucia, the Cayman Islands, and the Turks and Caicos. Now, Haynes told reporters that the EBC will be following COVID protocols and is urging voters to practice social distancing, wear face masks, and wash their hands frequently.
The Electoral and Boundaries Commission wishes to assure the electorate that on polling day, Wednesday, January 19th, 2022, the election workers at the polling stations will be following the COVID-19 protocols as given by the COVID-19 monitoring unit. This is a copy of the protocols that we have been given and which we are following to the letter. We anticipate that the COVID-19 requirements may slow the voting process a bit, and therefore we are requesting and encouraging employers to be lenient with employees who attend the poll during the workday.
Now, the EBC chairman said that voters will not be required to show proof of vaccination or get a negative COVID-19 test in order to vote, but he did say that COVID patients who are in isolation will not be allowed to vote.
The Electoral and Boundaries Commission wishes to assure the electorate that on polling day, Wednesday, January 19th, 2022, the election workers at the polling stations will be following the COVID-19 protocols as given by the COVID-19 monitoring unit. This is a copy of the protocols that we have been given and which we are following to the letter. We anticipate that the COVID-19 requirements may slow the voting process a bit, and therefore we are requesting and encouraging employers to be lenient with employees who attend the poll during the workday.